Some people don't like Clynleish because of the kind of waxy oiliness of it, and they're weirdos. Welcome back to Whisky Whims with me, Stuart. Today we've got a Tabes bottle split, our Tapsaf International bottle split group. This was one of our first purchases. It's a Clynleish 27-year-old, and I forgot about this because I thought I'd actually reviewed it already. But yeah, it's a rare find, single cask, and it was actually one of my first experiences with rare find as an independent bottler. 1994, 50.1% ABV. I'm fine with it without the water. I'm not going to review it with the water. It was £185 for a bottle, so when we split that, a pretty good value. And also, for a 27-year-old Clynleish, not that bad. Well, I don't think so. But yeah, that's the little label we've got there. So we'll get down to the review, the nose, the palate and the finish. And we'll see if it's a Whisky Win or a Whisky Bin. So the nose, there's like lemon, vanilla, custard slices. I think you can get them in Greg's, but yeah, it's definitely lemon and it's definitely vanilla custard. There's also a lot of mineral aspects to it, and it's quite a chalky dram in the nose. There's also something that reminds me of, now, where I grew up as a child, from about 3, I think that's when we moved to that estate. Anyway, down the road there used to be a bakery. The bakery was there for about, I don't know, the first 5-7 years of my life, and then it got knocked down and made into a bunch of flats and stuff. Maybe it was there a bit later, but a bit of a tangent. Anyway, this is kind of hitting a bit of a nostalgia feels for me. Because my mum used to work in the bakery, and when I used to walk to school, I used to smell obviously the baked goods, and it was absolutely amazing. And what that reminds me of, the smell of this, is like a freshly baked roll or bap, whatever you call it, they put like a bit of powdered coating on it. Sometimes they use corn flour, sometimes they use just regular flour, and even semolina. So it's that kind of freshly baked roll, so not doughy, but just hot out the oven. And then whatever the coating is, like a semolina coating on top or something. Yeah, it's also pretty herbally on the nose, and I'm going to say something like, I think possibly bay leaf, or yeah, something like that, something herbaceous. There's tropical fruit as well, and there's also this there's also like a touch of saltiness to it, just very subtle, but it's there. It's fantastic in the nose. The palate, quite viscous in the mouthfeel, really thick. There's more tropical fruits in the palate, lots more. There's guava there. There's even more of that chalkiness there as well, quite mineralistic. And in the palate, there's more herbiness in the palate, but not as much as in the nose. It's just kind of subtly in the palate. What else are we getting here? Yeah, there's more of a lemon influence, more of a citrus influence there. There's a bit of dried grass in the palate, some like buttercream icing as well in the palate. It's just really, like I said, kind of viscous. That kind of buttercream makes it feel thick. The lemon, it's just really good. The first time I think we had this was, we were visiting Ryan from 8 Doors. We went up for his birthday, and we had a few whiskies the night before, and we were travelling to Wick to do the old Palate tour, and I was pretty rough. But this just, I had some of this on the train, and it completely 180'd me, spun me right round, and it sorted me out for the rest of the day. And it kind of takes me back to that. It's such a good whiskey. There's no getting around it. It's just quality. So the finish is medium to long. Like I said, I think I said herbaceous in the nose, a little bit of herby in the palate, but then when we get into the finish, it's just completely overtaken by the herbaceous fact, or the herbaceous experience. It somewhat reminds me, I had a Millstone recently that was like ex-Bodega sherry, and I had that on the train in Amsterdam with Bart, one of the other Tabes members, and this Millstone was completely funky, so weird, and the herbaceous factor to it was just dominating everything, and that's almost like this in the palate. Not as funky as the Millstone, the finish, not as funky as the Millstone, but really obscure in the finish with the herbaceousness, and I can't really pinpoint what it is, but it's just quite lovely. It's quite fantastic. So that's pretty much it. Just that lasting kind of herby, it's like you're chewing on something in the finish. So that's pretty much the review. We'll get down to the rating of this, and if you're new here, how I rate my whiskies on 3 factors. Would I buy it again? Do I think it's worth it? And would I recommend it? So yeah, obviously we bought this as a split, but I was a bit silly not getting a full bottle of this. Maybe just the price at the time, maybe I couldn't justify the spending, but this would definitely be one I'd be happy to revisit in the future as well. I'd be happy to, like, kind of maybe in 5-10 years time go in the auction and see it for a decent price. That would be good, because it is quite it's quite a good whiskey. You know how I am with certain adjectives. I try not to be. It's almost like sitting on the fence, being a bit conservative with my description. But no, it's fantastic. It is great, and the memories that are tied to this make it all the better. So yeah, it's splendid. It's spectacular. It is a good whiskey. I'm just trying to maybe put you off from buying it on the auctions, so I'll use just the normal adjectives of it. It's fine. So yeah, I would definitely buy it again. Do I think it's worth it? I mean, it's expensive. It's £185 for a bloody drink, but I think it's worth it. A single cask, 27-year-old Clynleish, 1994, a year before I was born. Yeah, I think that's worth it, £185. And would I recommend it? I think some people don't like Clynleish because of the kind of waxy oiliness of it, and they're weirdos. Yeah, I would recommend this to anybody. It's not heavily dominated by anything like sherry or anything like that. It's not got a silly finish on it. So it's just purely the whiskey that's showing itself, the distillate. So it might be hard for some people, but I don't think so. If you're a seasoned drinker, you'll enjoy it. So that's, yeah, it's 3 out of 3. It's a Whisky Win. I hope you've enjoyed the review as much as I've enjoyed this whiskey and the memories. So thanks for watching. I've been Stuart, this has been Whisky Wins. I'll see you later.